right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first in a long time Ask Me Anything. So typically we go live once a week. We'll be looking at songs that either the community here has submitted for the HSS Song Contest, which if you're not aware of, this happens every single month. At the beginning of the month, people begin to submit their songs and into the song contest. And then at the last week of the month, we all come together and we listen to those songs. And everyone who has submitted a song, we listen to it and we just have a good time with it. Now, it's one of those things that if you have never been involved and maybe you're just a little bit scared as to, you know, well, what's people going to say about my music? What's people going to... It's a completely safe community of individuals who really love music and they love musicians, and we don't allow any shenanigans. Okay. So we try our best to make sure that everybody feels welcomed, as well as you get constructive criticism on your music. It's not destructive criticism. There's enough of that going on in the world right now. So at the beginning of every month, people will submit their songs there. And then the awesome community of audio lovers and myself all provide feedback on the songs, and we offer up friendly suggestions on how you can then improve them. Now, after a few days, I then go through and I choose a winner from the pool. And this is after we've all come back for a second live stream and listened to all of them together. This is really cool. And then I pick a winner, and that winner then receives a free mix and master from me with 3 revisions included. Now, it's completely up to you, and this does not bar you from winning. If you desire that your mix would not be showcased live, you don't want me to mix your song live, that's completely fine. It's not going to bar you from winning. But if you do win and you do want your mix to be showcased live, then we come together for a live stream where I actually mix it live here for everybody. It's a really great learning tool. What I've figured out over the years is that everybody really gets something from it, because you can ask in real time questions, you know, like, why did you adjust the EQ right there? Why did you put compression on that? Why did you do this? It's just a really great way to sort of get the answers out and about without having to go through sort of, you know, the gatekeepers, so to speak. But if you're interested in that, I would love for you to be a part of it. And going to give a big shout out to the first person who jumped on today, Jonathan 𝗵𝗲. Let me resize that. There we go. Good to see Jonathan 𝗵𝗲 up in here. And not him only, but what am I moving right now? Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get this. My OCD was not liking the way it was centered on the screen. Big shout out to Jonathan 𝗵𝗲, who was the first individual to actually say something in the chat. So thank you so much. Let's give him a big round of applause for being the first to be actively involved today. Good coffee. But I also see 𝗵𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is here. Shane Simpson, what's going on? Errol McCall. Chester, I cannot say your last name. I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to try. Okay, here we go. You ready for this? All right, I'm going to put it up here on the screen so you guys can see how much trouble I'm going to have with this. Chester 𝗵𝗲 Chester 𝗵𝗲. That's what I'm going with. Okay. Micah Catergram, 𝗧𝗁𝗂𝗀𝗃 is all up in here. Chuck Steak, I believe, is a first timer. Good to see you on here, Chuck. PAL, he's coming back again. Kev Grisham is all up in here. And of course, Midnight Blue Movies. What stream would be complete without Midnight Blue Movies? Kibdude asks, how's everyone doing? I can't speak for everybody, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. Not feeling the greatest right now in my body. I'm coming down with something, maybe. I don't know. And we'll see how that goes. So that was the very first question that was asked. So thank you so much as well for the first question. And this literally is an Ask Me Anything. So if there's something, literally anything that you want to ask, go for it. That's what this is all about today. It doesn't have to be music related. If it is, that's great. If it's not, let's talk about it, because this is literally just a time where we can just chill, hang out. I might even put some music on here in a minute. You know what? Actually, I will. I don't have my phone. Watch this brief commercial break while I go grab my phone. Today's video is sponsored in part by the 𝗏𝗵𝗲 Academy. The 𝗏𝗵𝗲 Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the 𝗏𝗏𝗲 Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the 𝗏𝗵𝗲 Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to get some music on cue here for the wonderful individuals here within the chat today. Something we can just kind of, something that won't retract from what we're doing, but will also kind of allow us to yeah, there we go. Some nice little ambient music to kind of play in the background here. But let's see, let's go on to, oh, you know what? It's been so long since I've done this. I'm forgetting something very important other than just today's title track or what we're actually looking at today. I'm also forgetting to mention the fact that this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. Together we can dream alone, create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. And how could I ever forget these wonderful individuals? These are the chart toppers. So these are folks who have, through whatever auspices, whether that's Patreon, whether it's VIP memberships, whether it's YouTube memberships, whatever it is, these are individuals who have seen, I need to really update this list. I've got a lot more VIP members than this now. I need to, come on, Robert, get with it. I say that every stream now. I need to update this list. Anyway, these are individuals who have seen the worth in what we're putting forth out here, and they're helping to spread the word and helping also with the giveaways. I mean, we couldn't have these giveaways if it wasn't for individuals like this that are helping to sponsor the channel so that I can have the money to have the giveaways. I mean, that's what they're all about. So also, because of you individuals, you wonderful, wonderful individuals, we're able to keep the lights on, so to speak. So I'm able to pay, you know, the extra licensing fees and everything that I need to make sure that I'm staying on YouTube, that I'm not being booted off of the internet because you're helping to pay my internet bill. I mean, there's just a whole slew of things that you guys are helping with to make sure that the show goes on. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I cannot say this enough, just how important you are. And if you just want to give through a one-time donation with a super chat, you can do that at the, if you're on your phone, it's like, it looks like a little S symbol. And you can just donate any amount of money. That's a one-time donation. YouTube takes a big chunk of that, but still, it's the thought that counts. And that will help to sponsor the channel as well. Okay, let's get back to some of these questions, and I'll turn the ambient music back up here. Which, by the way, today's ambient music, this is not sponsored, by the way. It's just, I thought you guys might want to know about this app. I found this app here. It's called 𝗏𝗏. And literally you can set it, even with the free version, you can set it to different modes. So right now we're on relax. You can set it to focus. You notice how it changed just a little? It's got like a little bit of rhythm to it. You can set it to sleep. And what it does is it seamlessly crossfades into the next series of ambience. And it's always different every time you listen to it. And then here is one that's called move. And if you look at your screen, it even has really clever like little things that can kind of help you relax or chill out if you just kind of look at the screen itself. It's a really great way to relax. So I'm going to put this back on. Let's put it on focus. How about that? And see, the screen for focus looks completely different. like I said, not sponsored. Just wanted to share this with you guys. It's a free app. You can download it today. It does have a paid version where you get access to more stuff. But the sleep timer is super cool because unlike an alarm clock that is like a loud, abrupt wakes you up, this is different in the sense that the music stays on until you fall asleep. Once you fall asleep, the music goes off, and then slowly the music starts to come back on, which then alerts your body that something has changed and you wake up gently. Very cool. I'm going to type it in the chat right now. If you're interested, it's called 𝗫𝗫. Yet again, not sponsored yet. Maybe I could be. I don't know. But yeah, let's go ahead and start diving into some of these questions. And we'll go ahead and check out what we got here. So Shane Simpson says, let me get this up on the screen here. Any Mixcraft users here? Oh, good question. So do we have any Mixcraft users in the chat? By way of the chat, type yes if you are a Mixcraft user. That's kind of a cool question to start it out with. Kind of an open-ended question. I like that. And I am going to change the way this live chat overlay looks because it's... I don't like the way it looks. I'll just be honest. I mean, I like the teal color, but I'm not a big fan of what it's doing right now. What is it? Oops. Okay, let's see if that worked. Okay, we'll close this, bring it back up so that hopefully I can see this better. See if that looks any better. No, you know, it looks about the same. Maybe it's the filter setting I got on here. Hold on. Maybe that's what it is. Nope, that just made that disappear. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stick with that, but oh, it's the white that's being... Let's see if this does it. Okay, yeah, that just completely obliterated it. That's great. Oh boy. Yep, that completely obliterated that. Interesting. Ah, okay, so it's the white background that's it's not liking. Okay, let's go back over here. Let's try this. Ah, okay. And could this be it? Could Robert have fixed this thing that really didn't matter, but he thinks it does? No, I think I made it worse. Okay. Let's see here. You know, something's happening that's weird anyway. Like, I'm not able to see... For some reason, I'm not able to see your all of the questions are not popping up. So I think what I'm going to do is... Let's go back over here. Is anybody being put to sleep by this music yet? Okay, let's see here. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to quit messing with that because we'll be here all day, me trying to figure that out. That's something that I obviously should try to figure out later. But with that being said, I'm going to come in here. Hit apply. All right, I'm trying to get it to where I can actually see the chat in front of me here, so to make it easier. There we go. Okay. Looks like I'm losing a lot of my... For whatever reason, I'm losing a lot of my chat. Like stuff's missing. Let's see if I do this. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to where... Oh, it looks like my trusty assistant is actually handing me the questions from our Discord server. Awesome. Thank you so much, DJ. I appreciate it because stuff is getting wonky here in the chat. I don't know what's going on. So I'll just pull up Discord here on the computer real quick. That way I can... Wouldn't be a live stream if stuff wasn't going wonky, guys. Okay, so the first question that we have... Sorry, I won't be able to put these up on the screen because it's just not... I mean, I can. It will look weird like it did a minute ago, and I don't much care for it. So the first question was from Jonathan Hamlet. He says, have you ever had to get a license or permission to borrow someone's melody for use in an original work? I emailed Disney yesterday. I personally have not. And that's mainly because, I'll just be perfectly honest, I don't really use a lot of other people's work. In my own music, I should say. Now, if that's like something that I'm doing here on YouTube, like raw track reactions, using multi-tracks from the Produce Like a Pro Academy, whatever it might be. So everyone sort of falls under a different category. So a lot of what you're going to run into is if it's copyrighted, it's copyrighted. You can't get past that. There are certain clauses for which you can sort of circumnavigate, I guess would be a good word for that, to find a route around it. By the way, Cella brand chocolate covered cherries are the bomb. If you have not had these. Oh yeah. This is so rude. What am I doing? With that being said, some of those ways that you can circumnavigate is through Creative Commons licensing. So a lot of music that was produced. I think there's like a statute of limitations. I want to say it's like 50 years. If it's 50 years and older, the statute of limitations as far as copyright is officially null and void. Don't quote me on that. Go look that up. But with that being said, something like Mozart, Beethoven, other classical works like that, they're now like open reign, free game, because they have reached their statute of limitations for copyright. And so there's some things that you can kind of get by with that, but then there's other things where you have to kind of, if it's for educational uses, if it's for reaction purposes, which is why, although a lot of my videos are more analysis type videos and educational videos, I always title them a reaction video, because I am genuinely reacting to the multi-tracks. I've never heard those multi-tracks. I've heard the song, but I haven't heard the multi-track. So by categorizing it as a reaction video, yes, it'll still get demonetized, and I'll still lose out, on the money that I would gain from the ads that are being shown on the video, even though they're still putting ads on there. Even though it gets demonetized a lot of times, almost 100% of the time, that doesn't mean that YouTube will completely strike it, take it down. Now, if it's Beatles work, John Lennon sings one line in a song, and it's immediately blocked, removed from YouTube. You can't even touch it. Everyone has their own stringent sort of rules. And so emailing Disney, I think that was a good step in the right direction, because then they can direct you into where you need to go next. And then you can try to figure out from there, like, okay, now that I've emailed Disney, here was their response, and then you can take it with a grain of salt. Right? Okay. Kind of hope that helped, or at least answered some of your question. Okay, question number 2 was from 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦 and he says, ask me anything. Here goes. Where from and how do you get a hold of the raw DAW recordings? For example, Michael Jackson. Now, this is probably the most asked question on the channel, and it's one that every time I see it now, I literally just have to move on, because I'm just like, okay, it's been asked so many times, and I've actually explained it in the chat section so many times. But for the sake of explaining it one more time, because I'm glad that you're here and that you're asking that question. So I have signed, or it's been more of a verbal agreement for a non-disclosure agreement as far as where the tracks are coming from. That non-disclosure agreement was not with the individuals who are giving me the tracks, but rather with individuals in the music industry. So with that being said, that means there's a lot of people that appreciate the work that I'm doing to help to educate people on the music that shaped and founded the music that we're listening to today, but they also don't want me to tell people where to actively pursue and get all of that for themselves. I know it sounds strange, but what if, just throwing this out there, what if someone who had a vindictive streak against Michael Jackson, and there are a lot of people, because anytime you're that talented, you have a lot of people that hate you. I've dealt with it my whole life, not saying that I'm as talented as Michael Jackson, but my whole life I have exhibited talent in certain areas that others were lacking in, and they would attack me for it, for whatever reason. Jealousy, pride, arrogance, I don't know what it was. But let's say that one of those individuals got a hold of those multi-tracks and completely changed the way that it sounded and made Michael Jackson out to be something that he was not, or used the voice from that to synthesize an AI voice to say something that he never said. There's just a lot of fine lines that you cannot cross, and that's one that, because I've agreed to just showcase the music and just highlight the educational standpoint of it, that I can't necessarily tell everybody where I'm getting everything. I hope that makes perfect sense, and I'm not doing it to like set on knowledge, because just to be perfectly honest, you can find these things anywhere and everywhere. You just got to look in the right places. The tracks that I get are from reliable sources. They're from people that I know aren't going to be sending me things that have viruses or something crazy like that. They're not going to, blow up my hard drive or nothing, or steal all my information. At least I don't think they are. Or are they? No, but seriously, just for the sake of making sure that everybody's on the right side of the tracks, the right page, so to speak, I always default to that non-disclosure agreement. But great question. And we will move on now to question number 3. Anyone use Falcon VST? Is it good for sampling? Considering getting a 𝗬𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 as I don't like the MPC. Only thing about the 𝗬𝗵𝗲 is it can't auto sample and play samples across a keyboard chromatically. And this was from Shane Simpson, and he says via MIDI. I'm not a big MIDI user. I use it to accentuate elements within a mix. So I honestly have never used either one of those units, the MPC or the 𝗬𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲. I typically just use my keyboard, my MIDI keyboard. I have an Oxygen 49, and then I have this back here, which is a MIDI keyboard in and of itself. And I can run that into Cakewalk from there. But I don't know. I couldn't answer your question in a more educated manner because I've not used them. So if I did, I'd be happy to answer you. But maybe someone here in the chat can help you that maybe has done that. And that's the beautiful thing about this kind of a community is you awesome individuals who are in the chat can always help to make up, fill in those gaps, those areas where because I'll be the first to admit I don't know everything. And, there might be people here in the chat that can accentuate that and can fill in those gaps where I don't know. Great question, though. Question number 4, 𝗬𝗵𝗲, which I'm gonna butcher that name all day long. I am so sorry, Chester. Can request a demo review of any song for future episodes. I've got plenty of people requesting songs. You can always request songs in the videos, like in the chat section. Feel free to request songs. I can't say that I will always have access to the songs that you're requesting. A lot of them I probably do, especially if it's Michael Jackson. I have a lot of Michael Jackson multi-tracks, haven't even scratched the surface of what I have yet, which is one reason why we're doing a lot of Michael Jackson. It's not just because I'm an MJ fan, but it's because Michael Jackson was very, very giving while alive, and it seems like his estate and individuals that were around him are helping to continue that on. They're helping to share his legacy through these multi-tracks. So, yeah, go ahead and request any demo you'd like. In fact, there's actually another great place that you can do that is in the Discord chat. It's a completely free group. We all get in there and hang out, and I'm popping in and out of there all the time and seeing what people are up to. And it's just a great place if you want to connect with people here in the community outside of YouTube. That's a great place to do it. Okay, question number 5. These are coming in pretty fast, and I'm liking it. They got a lot of good questions here. Hi, Robert. Do you have a simple... I'm sorry, this is from Chuck Steak. I need to say that. Do you have a simple recommended workflow for recording and fleshing out initial song ideas? That's a great question, actually. I do have a creating a song step-by-step video course on my website. That's at homestudiosimplified.com. And if you go to the store tab, actually, I'll just bring that up here on the screen. Okay, so if you was to go over to the website today and you clicked on store up here, this would bring you to the store. You can see down here I have a creating a song step-by-step video course. It's $27. It's approximately 3 hours. It comes with multi-tracks so that you can actually mix the song along with me. This is literally like fleshing the song out, coming up with the ideas, coming up with the parts, writing the parts, mixing it, mastering it, and releasing it. Everything that you need to know. I would go and check that out. There's also tons of free tutorials on my YouTube channel. So you can go to the playlists there and find several different songwriting tips and stuff like that. But usually I default to this because obviously this is a business. And secondarily, this is your most succinct place where you can find what you're looking for. And within each one of these courses too, like if you was to click on this and, become an active participant in this course, what you're going to get to is like a page that becomes like a login page so that you can always go back and watch that. You don't have to download it on your computer at all. You can stream it right from my website. So it saves space on your computer. But if you want to download it, you're more than welcome to do so. It comes with, everything that you need to know. So that's definitely an option if you wanted to go that route. So, all right, great questions. But just sort of shooting from the hip as far as a simple recommended workflow, because I'm all about simplifying things here. I would say the best thing that you could do is to start with a good melody. I mean, I think that's probably one of the first things that I would do. And then whatever your instrument of choice is, just sit down and start to try to flesh out, what can I build around this? If it's a melancholy melody, try to say that 3 times fast, then obviously you don't want an upbeat verse, or maybe you do. I don't know. But whatever you're doing, try to make sure that you're putting the most of amount of thought into the emotional attachment rather than the lyrical content. And if you can get a good marriage of both, oh yeah, you're money. That's where you want to be. In fact, in the most recent raw track reaction of 𝗀𝗂, somebody that I used to know, one of the things that I brought up in the VIP section, which by the way, if you guys are not VIP members, you actually get to be a part of the VIP membership analysis portion for that video. I went ahead and made that open for everybody so that you guys could kind of see what that looks like if you were a VIP member, what extra that you're going to get with these VIP membership videos. So not only do you get them commercial free, but you also get a little bit of an extra talking point, philosophical points from me, like talking about how we can apply it to our own music and some key takeaways from the music itself. Apart from that, you also get tons of really cool multi-tracks you can mess with. None of the ones that we're doing the raw track reactions with. These are community donated multi-tracks. They are the multi-tracks, a lot of them from the song contests. When I choose a winner, you have an option also to allow your multi-tracks to be shared with the VIP community. So, which is very generous. There's a lot of people that have done that. So we've got punk rock tracks, we've got rock, we've got Southern gospel, we've got rap, we've got any genre of music you can probably think of is in there for you to download and mix and add to your portfolio. So great questions though, man. You guys are knocking it out of the park. Let's go to the next one here, which is from PAL. He says, "Hi Robert, I'm thinking of getting a Ryzen 5 6-core CPU with 32 gig of RAM. Do you think this would be enough to run Cakewalk? Thank you for your continued support in the Cakewalk community." Well, first off, man, I got to say, I got nothing but love for Cakewalk and for the Cakewalk community. I think Cakewalk is not given the credit that it deserves, to be perfectly honest. And so I'm hoping to do the best that I can do with what I can do, if that makes sense. But as far as the specs of the computer, dude, you'd be right in there. That's actually what you named off is exactly what I use on a day-to-day basis. And it's almost, I don't think it's ever overkill, but I think the 32 gigs of RAM, it's kind of overkill, but it's worth it. You want to make sure that you have that overkill because there are some plugins, like for instance, OX Sounds, Soothe 2 and Spiff. Those are very, very hard on your CPU. So the more RAM that you have, the easier it's going to be on your computer as a whole. And sometimes you just got to print stuff and go on. So, but yeah, that's definitely, yeah, you'd be hitting it right out of the ballpark with that. Furthermore, we're getting ready to head into Black Friday. We're getting ready to head into holidays. Make sure that before you just rush in and buy something, you might hold off and wait for some deals. Cyber Monday, that's a great time to buy. And usually there's a lot of places that may have some really good sales. So next is SR Price has asked, why has Logic got recording levels when they make no difference? It's the audio interface that denotes the level. So recording levels, the reason why they're in a DAW is because you have different modes of gain staging. So you have your interface, like you're talking about, you're gonna gain stage it one way, and then you're gonna gain stage your DAW another way. This is so that you're not clipping on your interface and you're not clipping in your DAW. But depending on what kind of an interface that you're using, this could allow you to, if it's a tube-driven interface, to drive the tubes a little harder, but still not be clipping in your DAW. So that's why there's usually levels on both, so that you can gain stage differently based off of your needs. So, great question though. Nicolas Fernandez says, hey, I do have a pretty standard home studio, but I need to improve. Do I start with another PC or an expensive mic, another interface? What is the next step? I do have a Scarlett 2i2 and an SM58. So right off the bat, brother, you've got a Scarlett 2i2 and an SM58. You're already light years ahead of what I started with. So that's an excellent interface. I'm a big fan of Focusrite stuff. I've got a 6i6 sitting in front of me right now. And the SM58, I mean, sure, microphones are awesome. The 58 is a little bit mid-heavy. That's why they use it a lot of times on, I mean, this is an SM7B, so it's got a little bit more bottom end, a little bit more top end, a little bit tighter. But on an SM58, it's a little bit more mid-rangey. However, it sounds great on acoustic guitar. It sounds great on amps, amp cabinets. It sounds great. I mean, there were many Jackson songs that he recorded with an SM7B or an SM58. He just liked the sound of the Shure microphones. So you've got a really good standard starting point. Your hub, though, especially nowadays in a home studio, your hub is your PC. So if you're using Cakewalk, you're going to want a Windows-based computer. If you want to open up your world to Pro Tools or anything else for that matter, other than Cakewalk, then you can go Mac. But I'm just going to put this out there. I don't mean to cause any rifts amongst the community right now. But the whole Windows, I should say PC or Mac thing, there was this huge contention 10, 15 years ago. Everybody was up in arms about which is the best. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever you have, whatever works for you, whatever your budget allows. Personally, for me, I've always done everything on a PC and I've not had any problems with it whatsoever. It does, depend on whether you're keeping your PC up to date, whether you're making sure that all of your plugins and everything like that is up to date, or it's just like minor things. But here's where, when you get into the Mac side of things, my goodness, there was a recent update just here not too long ago, and everyone's plugins quit working, and there was no foreshadowing of that. They weren't like, hey guys, in a couple days, we're going to release an update that's going to kill your computer and crash all of your work. They didn't do that. That's the thing I don't really care for about Apple. Their drivers, I think, are a little bit better. Their audio drivers are a little bit better, especially because they are more focused on quality of their audio and video. But really, it's up to you. But if I was going to start with anything, if you already have a good PC, then yeah, get you a better mic. But you don't have to get an expensive mic to get a good mic. In fact, I was just looking at this earlier. I was going to send an email out, actually, to those that are on my email list about some good microphone choices. And let me see here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So if there's anything that I could recommend you to, it is the Lewitt line of microphones. And this is not just because Warren Hewart is pushing them. It's not just because, several other YouTubers are pushing them. It's literally because they are just that good and they're that affordable. I own the Lewitt 440 Pure, and I also own the LCT, the small diaphragm condenser mic. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to share with you here in the chat. Yeah, the LCT140, that's what I've got, and the 440 Pure. Now, the 440 Pure right now is going for $269. That's a steal of a deal for as good as that microphone sounds. You can literally use it on anything. And then the LCT140, which is the small diaphragm, which is like a great instrument microphone, is going for $159. Steal of a deal. But what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to share with you guys here in the chat real quick. If you're looking for a good microphone, you know, this is the place to go. Let me make sure this pulls up properly. Yep. Okay. So for those of you who are in the chat right now, I've just posted a link right now to a great place to get you a good, affordable microphone. And if you buy from this place, if you've never shopped with Sweetwater, you need to, for one. But if you buy from this place, from Sweetwater, because I'm a Sweetwater affiliate, at no extra cost to you, you're going to pay the same amount either way. I also receive a small commission for leading you to their products. So it's super cool. You get to help the channel out at the same time that you're buying something you was going to buy anyway. So it's a really cool way to give back to the community as well. But yeah, if you already have a great computer, I would get you a better microphone. If you already have a decent microphone, the SM58 in this case, but you need more processing power, then yes, go for the computer. It's kind of straightforward, but I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So question number 9, we got the Arabian Crypto Man. What is up? We got a lot of new timers. Let's give a big cheer for all the new timers that are in the chat today. Thank you guys. It's always good to see new faces. Always good to see new names in the chat. But this is from Arabian Crypto Man. He says, what is your main DAW for music production? So I'm glad you asked. I recently was just featured on the Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel, where I talked about my favorite DAW, which is Cakewalk by BandLab. Now, I give several different reasons in that video, as well as the previous one that we did a year before that, 5 reasons why I love Cakewalk. And all of those are here on my channel as well. In fact, I have an entire playlist. If you were to sign up and get Cakewalk today for free, you can come here on my channel, and there's a playlist of over, I believe it's 47 videos now. And these are all nothing but Cakewalk tutorials. I literally will take you step by step, hold your hand, show you how to use it, show you the ins and the outs of it. And then if you want to get really down to the nitty gritty, I even have an ultimate Cakewalk course on my website as well, which will allow you to have some multi-tracks you can mix along with. 64 videos. I said 47. I was cutting myself short here. There are 64 videos in this thing now.
The quick fix to getting your music sounding industry standard is...
not meaning to do that. I'm trying to pull up this YouTube here, and it's playing this guy's commercial on top of my stuff.
Compression. The magic bullet...
Okay. Yeah, but if you... Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, if you go over to the YouTube channel, here is an entire playlist, and I will post that in the chat right now as well. Okay, that will take you, you can go ahead and bookmark that for later, but that'll take you to this playlist. I literally go through downloading and installing it, troubleshooting any installation issues you might have, overviews of templates and improving your workflow, creating project templates, CPU saving tips, on and on it goes. These are all tutorials. Now here's the Produce Like a Pro feature that was, I think, a couple years ago, maybe a year ago. And then if you scroll back down here, if I don't have the most recent one on here, I need to get that on here. Yeah. But to answer your question shortly, because I'm not good at that at all, but to answer your question in short, yes, Cakewalk by BandLab is my main DAW of choice. All right. Number 10, Benjamin Bradley Jr. says, how do you select what songs to react to? And would you ever consider reacting to a Prince song? That's a great question. I actually have reacted to a Prince song. However, Prince, much like the Beatles, once you do it, it's done. You immediately get blocked and booted. Sorry, I'm showing you guys the Discord group now. Yeah, you immediately get blocked and you can't go any further with it. So what I did was, it's inside of our Discord group. It's it's inside the VIP membership. Sorry. So if you go into the VIP membership area, you're going to find there a good place where you can actually. Sorry, somebody's blowing my phone up. I don't know who is this? What do they want? Oh, it's my Instagram. That's why. Okay. Anywho, shiny objects. So I would love to react to more Prince songs, but I only had those 1 tracks, and we did that on the VIP membership area only because of its copyright infringements. So if I go to, let's see, maybe I can actually find. Yeah, I did Let's Go Crazy, and I did it live. And it's blocked. So I had to download the video and then upload it to the VIP membership. So yet again, there's songs inside the VIP membership that I either streamed live because they had copyright infringement. If I stream it live, if it has a copyright infringement, it will still go through because obviously it's live. They can't stop me while I'm live streaming. But if it stays on there for longer than 10 minutes, it's gone. Like, they block it. Anything by the Beatles, anything by Prince is gone. So Let's Go Crazy is actually on the VIP membership, and that's the only place that it's at. Also, the Beatles song, the full Beatles song, because I know I have reacted to A Day in the Life. And if you go and you watch that video, like, there's several portions of it where they actually just cut the audio completely. So they were like, yeah, sure, you can have it. You can let it stay up, but no one's going to get to see it. So, or hear it. So, but those are actually on the VIP membership as well. The full multi-tracks, or at least the reaction to those multi-tracks. Better not say that out loud too much. Somebody will be like, what? He's got multi-tracks on there. I do, but they're from the public. They're not from these guys. So, and then the second part of your question, which I kind of skipped over, sorry, was how do you select which songs to react to? So really, I basically just go off of kind of what sounds fun at that time. Or I try to kind of play it smart sometimes and figure out, okay, what's trending around this time? Like, say, for instance, the Michael Jackson Thriller. I did that. I released it actually on Halloween. Even though I don't celebrate Halloween, I knew that it would be trending at that time. So like any good business, you take advantage of holidays. And so that's exactly what I did. So that one was like an obvious, like, okay, that's going to be done on Halloween. So, I'm sorry, guys, they're blowing the phone up. But with that being said, yeah, I really don't have a rhyme or a reason to how I pick things. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So, for the most part though, I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. I'd like to do that one. Or, I've listened to a song on the radio or something like that at work, and then I come home and I'm like, I'm going to see if I got those multi-tracks. So, yeah. Question number 10.5. Kev Grisham says, Robert, what is your opinion on top-down mixing? Do you think it benefits or maybe hinders learning? So top-down mixing is, it's one of those topics of controversy, and, oops, I just checkmarked the wrong question. But with that being said, it was made controversial mainly because individuals like Joe Gilder and Graham Cochran and some other individuals, I can't remember right off the top of my head, were really like driving this into the dirt a few years ago. They were like, oh yeah, this is the way to get radio ready mixes faster than ever. And I'm not saying that it didn't work for them, because that's just it. Like, everybody does things differently. Everybody mixes differently. I use 3 reverbs, for crying out loud. A lot of people are like, that's too much. I love it. I love the way that it sounds. I love it in my workflow. It just works. I mix predominantly on headphones. A lot of people are like, no, you cannot do that. Well, it's funny because I just watched a video today, actually. I'm sending it out through my email group with Andrew Sheps and Fab DuPont talking about how they mix predominantly on headphones. And these are people who, like, a couple of years ago were like, you don't mix on headphones. Well, guess what? Which Andrew Sheps has always been sort of the guy that, like, is breaking out of the box and doing stuff that, like, he was one of the first ones that sold all of his outboard gear, and they all said it was crazy, it was nuts. And he was like, no, it's too expensive. I can't recall it. When clients call and I'm on a plane, they want me to recall a mix. I don't have time to go back to my studio and do all this when I can just load up a preset from inside the box or on a DAW. So yeah. Top-down mixing, for those of you who may not know what it is, though, is basically you mix from your buses back to your, at least that's how I always understood it. You mix from your buses back to your actual channels themselves. So like you would do a majority of your, let's say you group all of your vocals together, and then you do all of your mixing work on the vocal bus. Then you come back to the individual vocal tracks. To me, it's just basically mixing backwards. Whether it's called top-down mixing or this or that, it's just mixing backwards. It doesn't really make any difference to me how you do it, as long as the achievement at the end of it is a good mix. So I don't think it really hinders learning. I think it's just everyone learns differently and everybody does things differently. It's just how your brain works. I'm going to adjust a reverb differently than what other people would adjust a reverb. I'm going to dial in compression settings differently than what other people would. It's just basically based off of what works for you. And the only way that you can really find out what works for you is to get your hands on a bunch of multi-tracks and do a bunch of mixes. And that's why things like, I know I keep shamelessly plugging this, but it's the truth. That's why things like the VIP membership are so intrinsic to helping you to get better at what you're doing. It's not because, let me just put it to you this way too. So if you was to go to a site and they said, we've got 100% free multi-tracks all day, every day, all day long. You're going to go there, you're going to download a bunch of multi-tracks, you're going to bring 1 or 2 of them up in your DAW, you're going to mess with them for a while, and then because that's always accessible, because it's always free, the proclivity of humanity is, because I have no skin in the game, I could touch them or I couldn't, and then procrastination sets in. Now, when you attach a small price tag to that, like say $9.99 a month, which is what it costs to become a VIP member, or $99 a year, which is what it costs to become a VIP member. Now you have skin in the game. You download the multi-tracks, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm paying for this monthly. I'd better do something with those. So it's just that little bit of a nudge, that monthly nudge, which is honestly cheaper than a Netflix, and how many hours have you burned your brain cells out on Netflix? So, I know, another shameless plug, but anyway, great questions. I don't think it hinders learning. I think find out what way works best for you. If you want to try top-down mixing, go for it. If you think it hinders you, find a different route, find a different way. Find someone that resonates with you, and maybe they have a better way for you. I have a 15-step mixing process that you can get for free. If you want to try that process out, it works for me, but it may not work for you. I'm not saying that I'm the be-all, end-all, that I have all the answers in the world to get you to become a better mix engineer. What will get you to become a better mix engineer, a better recording engineer, a better artist in general, is just doing a plethora of work. I know I hate that, but it's the truth. Great question yet again. Question number 11, we've now moved on from 10.5, was from Shane Simpson. He says, do you use any hardware samplers? I do not. I do not, unless you count guitar pedals. I do use guitar pedals while mixing sometimes, and I'll maybe sample something or like freeze something so that it sort of becomes like a bed underneath the track. That's about as close to sampling as I get. Yet again, I'm more of a real instrument kind of guy. I only use MIDI to accentuate things within a mix, or if I don't have a piano, obviously, like a grand piano in a hall, I can simply plunk around on these keys here and get me a grand piano in a hall. So, question number 12 is by Shane Simpson as well. He says, I'm not looking to be a super pro recorder. I just want to make decent, at least demo quality tracks. Any good cheat sheet or tutorials that you recommend? Nothing too in-depth. You know, I have yet again, shameless promotion, but I have a ton of these here on the channel about making decent quality tracks. I honestly, I do. I have a playlist. Let me see which would probably be the best playlist for that. Because I mean, the Cakewalk by BandLab tutorials is one thing, but actually having something that will, yeah, for some reason, all of my playlists are not even showing up. That's weird. Yeah, because I had other playlists. Where are they? Oh. Hello. Next page, Robert. 5S video series. Those are simple, shareable solutions that save you time, get you better sounding mixes. That might help. Okay, so here is oh, you know what? Yeah, duh. Hello, Robert. Duh. Go to my website, homestudiosimplified.com. Let me bring this up on the screen again here so I can show you exactly where to go. Go to my website. You're going to find here is a free mini course for mixing vocals, also recording vocals, as well as mic choice. That will help. But right here, creating a song step-by-step free. So the one that you pay for, the $27 version, is 2.0. It's like a better, I think, more in-depth version. This free version here was done several years ago, so my processes have changed since then, but it still is very, very helpful. That's completely free. You can get that right here. And as well as mixing bass simplified, which is one of the hardest things that people have a tendency to mix. And then room acoustics simplified. You can get all of those for free here, and even take an audio knowledge assessment right here on the website. I don't know why I keep forgetting about that. Probably because I keep forgetting to point people back to the website. So great question though. Great question. But that will definitely answer hopefully most of your needs. Hello from Sweden. Ola, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name, says, what's the meaning of music for you? Ooh, that's a good question. Wow, getting all philosophical on me. So, music for me is an artistic expression of an amalgamation of different emotions, of different feelings, past, present, memories, and even future memories. No, I guess they wouldn't be memories, they'd be future projected memories. Music for me, if I could just categorize it real quickly, I think I was in the 6th grade when my music teacher, which at the time I was completely out of control, being kicked out of every class that I was put in. I'm not proud to say this, but I was a reprobate. I mean, I was just all over the place. I don't even know why people put up with me. I was rude. But when I got to music class, and this was before music really got a hold of me, my music teacher at the time, Mr. Stam, which his daughter went on to become Katie Stam, Miss America, he pulled me to the side and had got on to me basically right before the class and said, you're not going to act up in my class or you're going to be kicked out. Now, at this time, I was starting to get a feel for music, but music hadn't got a hold of me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try to pay attention in this class. I'll try not to kick your trash can or throw stuff at you. And he asked this very same question: what is the meaning of music? Now, back then, I can still remember what I wrote back then. And it was one of those moments where his jaw dropped and his eyes were bugged out of his head. And he was like, oh my goodness. Because at this point, everybody had already wrote me off. They said I was going to flunk. They said I was just going to be a dropout, that I was going to quit school, that I was going to become a jailbird. And by most rights, I probably would have been had God not got a hold of my life. I don't think probably would have been. I would have been. I'd either be dead or in jail right now if God hadn't got a hold of me. Anyway, here I am in 6th grade. He poses the question, what is the meaning of music for you? And I remember still to this day, I wrote, music is the heartbeat of the soul flowing like a river to ink on the paper. And he was like, I want you to stand up. I want you to read that again for the class. It was like one of those Sister Act moments, where he was like, I found a way to get to this guy that nobody can get to. It's through music. And, yeah. So it's something like music is the heartbeat of the soul flowing like rivers onto the paper. And then he said, unpack that. What does that mean? And I said, well, whether it's written lyrics or it's musical notation, it has to come from a deep-rooted emotion. And that emotion flows from that person onto the paper. Whatever they're writing, whatever music they're producing, whatever it is, it's coming out of them. There's an emotional attachment to that music. And he was like, mind blown. And I was just like, and for me at this time, I was really big into poetry. I was really big into writing. I was really big into Shakespeare and Poe and a lot of stuff that kids my age were not into. Of course, I had to grow up a lot faster than other kids because I grew up in a weird home. Some of you have kind of heard that story, but I grew up way too fast. Okay. But with that being said, I still kind of default to that. I really feel like that's what music is. It's the heartbeat of the soul flowing like rivers onto the paper. And whether that's lyrics or it's musical notation or it's chord charts or whatever it might be, there always has to be an emotional attachment to the music that you're writing for it to be real music to me. That's my 2 cents. Question number 14, Midnight Blue Movies asks, some people think you have to have real instruments in a song to get real emotion. What are people's thoughts about that? So that's a great segue or follow-up question to what I just talked about, because here's the thing. Like, as much as I love emotionally driven tracks, as much as I love the fact when an artist sits down and emotionally just pours their heart out onto paper, I do know that some lyricists maybe aren't the greatest musicians on instruments. And this is where we live in such a day and age right now where the sky is the limit for anybody who wants to be creative. You can buy loop packs. You can buy samples. You don't even have to really play an instrument and you can still be creative. But here's the cool thing too. I was just on a podcast yesterday. Actually, I'll share that with you guys whenever it comes out, but I was invited onto the Beardly Creative podcast where he talks about all things creative. I was invited over to his studio, his video production studio. It was super cool. Great guy, great team of individuals over there. And we talked a lot about the raw track reactions, and we talked a lot about, the old hands that are kind of like, these whippersnappers, they're using nothing but samples and it's all trash. And I don't ascribe to that, because I think there is a lot of musical prowess that still goes into using loops and using samples. It takes a skill. Like, you can't just slap stuff into a DAW in different keys, in different tempos, and just expect it all just to work. You can't. You got to have some kind of working knowledge of what's going on, and that takes an amount of skill. So if you can get your thoughts across, and if you can, even without words, emotionally attach yourself to that and let that emotion flow through whatever instrumentation, whatever loops or sample libraries or MIDI keyboard, whatever it might be, whatever it is, then by all means do it. It does not matter to me, or honestly, even to the listener, because most listeners aren't sitting there going, yeah, this is totally loops. These are totally loops. You know, I mean, if they're really into the music for the music itself, they're not going to care. I mean, the only time where there's a fine line, I think, is when the music is like, I've sampled everything from this person's song and I've just sung my lyrics over top of it. That's when their fine line is like, okay, now you're just stealing, you know? Or a great example of this is Ashlee Simpson on Saturday Night Live years ago. I would say probably 100%, honestly, of all the major bands are using backing tracks. They're using tracks to make them sound bigger on stage than what they would if they didn't have those tracks. It's just common knowledge. But when you get to a point where your vocals are the backing track and you're lip syncing, that's where it gets into like a little. So Ashlee Simpson was on Saturday Night Live. She came out to sing her song. The drummer, for whatever reason, hit the track a little too early. She's up there dancing and she starts singing, but her microphone's not in front of her mouth. And everyone just stops and looks at her like, oh no, we've been found out. She does a little jig and she dances off the stage, and we never hear from Ashlee Simpson again. So there's a fine line. There really is. But if whatever you're using to make music, if you're getting the point across, and I think music really lends itself to the pure at heart. I really do. I think, you know, some people talk about the spirit of the muse. I don't know if I buy into all that. I think I have had individual times in my life where songs have literally just fell in my lap. And there's some times where I know for a fact, like God gave me verses to write, or he gave me a song. I don't think that's the spirit of the muse. I think that's just an almighty creator that just loves music himself. I mean, in Greek folklore, there is a strong sect of people that believe that the first verse of the Bible, where it talks about in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, they believe that literally says in the original Hebrew that he sung the worlds into existence. That I would definitely believe that. I mean, he's the one that instituted music to begin with. It was David who raised up the tabernacle of David and instituted music for worship. It was Satan who fell from heaven because he was a choir director for heaven. So obviously God loves music. I don't know how I got off on that, but wow. Anyway, with all that being said, use whatever works for you and just have fun with it. And don't worry about the haters, because haters going to hate. Question number 15 from SR Price. Anyone remember C-Lab and Steinberg Pro 24 on the Atari ST1040? I have heard about it, but I don't think I ever have played with them. Maybe someone here in the chat can help out with that. Question number 16 is from Kevin Diamonds. Kevin Diamond has no ideas. Okay. Wow. Have you heard of Behind the Mask by Michael Jackson? I have, actually. I have. And I'm actually a part of a small, close-knit community that's a website called Behind the Mask, where they actually talk about a lot of MJ memorabilia. They talk about what's going on in the MJ estate today. They talk about all kinds of cool stuff in there. It's a great little community. But yeah, I have heard about that. Question 17 from Shane Simpson again. He says, is a gamer sub pack vest terrible alternative to sub speaker for those in an apartment? I don't think so. In fact, one of my good friends, let me make sure I check that. Yeah. Okay. I just actually interviewed one of my good friends here on the channel not too long ago. and I'm going to try to find that interview real quick, and I'll type it in the... Oops. That wasn't Dave Kersner. He's an awesome guy. Who was that was talking about the... Wasn't Mark Letary, although that was a really cool interview, by the way. It wasn't Mark George. That was another cool interview. Oh, what's that guy's name? I need to go back to my playlist. I'll go to interviews, and then I'll find it right off the bat, probably. Oh, I'm picturing him right now. I can see him in my mind. What is that guy's name? David Glenn. There it is. Good night. Getting old, folks. It's not good for you. David Glenn uses a sub pack. He's very, very adamant about using a sub pack so that you can actually feel the bass instead of having to hear the bass. And he also said it has accentuated or completely replaced the need for having a subwoofer. So it's a great, great thing for people who live in apartments or flats or anything like that. So yeah, it's not a terrible alternative. I think I would use it and try to get used to using it. You never know, it might turn out to be kind of cool. Question number 18 by Anthony Barreto says, how's marriage? You know, it's pretty good. We just celebrated 16 years of it as of October 20th. And I have to say, she puts up with me. She puts up with my shenanigans. And I really do. She's the love of my life. I really do love her a lot. She's not only very attractive. I'm talking, she's a hottie. You know what I'm saying? Hey. But she's also a really good girl. She's got a great heart. She loves people. She loves God. Yeah, could be, you know, could be worse. No, really, she's the best. Question number 19 comes in from Raging Oracle. That sounds like a band name. Also, how large should one's catalog be when trying to get placements? Follow up to my first question. I didn't see your first question, but I'm assuming it was about sync licensing, if you're talking about placements. Or no, that was probably for Disney, wasn't it? Is that the same person? Jonathan Hamlet? No, that was Raging Oracle. Okay, well, I'm assuming you're talking about sync licensing. I would say your catalog needs to be at least 10 songs or more. And they need to be from different varieties. Think about it in terms of happy, sad, melancholy, you know, banging, whatever it is. But think of it from the standpoint of emotions. That's where a lot of times commercials are wanting to emotionally drive people, and music is the best way to do that. So I would definitely think of it from that aspect. Awesome. Question number 20 from Jonathan Hamlet. The context for my question is my band's writing a song about certain mythical creatures. I currently like a melody from a movie that features similar creatures as an Easter egg. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, writing Disney was definitely the best first step. Definitely. Question number 21. This comes in from 𝗵𝗲 He says when to use mono bass and when to use stereo bass. I'm asking about modern pop and EDM sound. Listen carefully. Bass tracks are not playing in center. It's stereo. Okay, so yet again, this is personal preference, but for me, my bass is always in mono. Simply because mono bass is going to translate the best on the widest variety of sources. Because bass is such a large waveform, it's a lot easier for the bass to get out of phase. And so therefore, it's a lot easier This message is held for review. What? Interesting. Anyway, interesting. I don't know. Okay, so there's something going on in the chat here. I'm not sure. Nexus 4 demo is asking stuff, and I'm sure it's nothing bad because she's always getting on here offering up some awesomeness. Usually lighting the room up like a Christmas tree. Which, by the way, if you guys did not know, if you generate a super chat of any amount, you will light this room up like a Christmas tree. Well, it's more like a nebula, but just thought I'd throw that out there. So yeah, I always put it in mono. You can put it in stereo. Nothing wrong with that. You can if you want. But I always leave mine in mono. It's really just personal preference. But it also, you know, you have to watch out because if you have a stereo bass track, that's going to inhabit a lot of your stereo field. So hope that, actually, if you go to my website and you download Mixing Bass Simplified, it's a free little cheat sheet there. That's one of those things where I think it would help you a lot. So, question number 22 is from Alex. It's Alex. Quit talking about him. He's here. It says, can we soon see how Heal the World from NJ is made? Ooh, Heal the World. That would be a nice one, wouldn't it? Heal the world. Make it a better place for you. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to butcher it. You know what? It's definitely on the list of ones to do. I do have those multi-tracks, so we shall see. That's why you got to be a subscriber. And that's why you've got to click that notification bell to enable all notifications. Where is it? There it is. This little bell right here. Yeah, you want to click that bell right there. Oh yeah, there you go. Click that bell. That's a good bell to be clicking right there. Okay. All right. Anyway. Question number 23 is from 𝗧𝗵𝗲 again. Butchering that name. Is parallel compression the secret for modern vocals? I do have a complete vocal course for free on my website as well, where I actually touch on that quite extensively. I don't think it's the only secret. I do think it's a good secret. Not to be used all the time, but some of the times. However, in that course, we're going to talk a little bit about exactly when and where to use those. And yet again, it's really super simple. You just go to HomeStudioSimplified.com. Right there on the very front page, there's a free course. Click that button. It takes you to it. It's, I think it's 3 parts. 3-part video series. First one is mic choice, and then we talk about mics, getting your mic to work for you, and then we talk a lot about mixing as well. Lewis Whitechurch has question number 24, and he says, what headphones do you use? So currently, right now, I say currently right now, but I mean, it's been like pretty much forever. I'm using Audio-Technicas, and these are the ATH500Xs. They are open back, which I love because that way the bass frequencies don't get built up in the headphones. These are so comfortable. These are so comfortable. Oh man. Yeah, but that's currently what I use. I also have a list, if you're interested, where if you go to, let's see, I think it's on my website as well. I have to double check on that one. Let's hop over there and check it out. So here's the free vocal, 3-part mini course that you'll get if you go over there and check that out there. But if you go up here to recommended, here's best plugins on the planet, most simplified plugins to use. And then I also have, so here's gear that I would recommend to anybody, audio enthusiasts, engineers in general. If you check on the podcasting kit, right here are my headphones. And anything that's bought on this page, yet again, at no extra cost to you, is going to come straight into my pocket for, like, not all of it, but a portion of it will come into my pocket as an affiliate. And like I've given this disclosure up here, I would not put anything on this page that I've not used myself or something that I haven't heard that works very well. Like earlier, we were talking about those MIDI keyboards. A lot of these MIDI keyboards I've personally not used, but I know people that do use them and that they get a lot of good use out of them. Right here, actually, there's the MPK. Awesome. So maybe I can recommend that from earlier when that questioning popped up. I can't remember who it was that, I think it was Sanjay C. Said he's used this. So if he's used it, he's a really great producer. So I would say that it's worth looking into. But yeah, if you click on this, it'll take you to a page. This is my podcasting kit. This is everything that I'm using right now to get the sound that you're hearing. Well, maybe not everything, because some of this is, like, I'm not using this drone. I'm not even sure why that's there. Oh, it's an ad. Okay. Yeah, these are drone shots that you're looking at right now. Yeah, but super cool. Nice way to support the channel without having to really, fork out too much extra cash or anything like that. All right, up next is question number 25 from Alex. Again, can we soon see how real the world... he's spamming. Okay, question number 26 from Jewel. That was just another Heal the World from MJ comment. Why are you kind of cute? How much did you pay her to say this, Robert? Really? I didn't pay her a thing. I just love her that much. Question number 27 is from, thank you, by the way, for the compliment. I do appreciate that. I'm more old than I am cute now, though. Question number 27 is from 𝗵𝗲 says, can you talk about polyphony and counterpoint? Thanks. I would if I knew exactly what you were asking. So if you can rephrase that question in a way that's a little bit more cohesive, I'd be happy to. Next question, number 28, is from MJC Music. Says, have you ever tried using any other DAWs like Logic or Fruity Loops? Actually, our church uses Logic Pro for the live sound and for capturing the tracks. So with that being said, I've used them. I started out on Magic's Music Studio back in the day. And then I went to Acid Music Studio. So I've used other DAWs, and I still, to this day, I will still use Audacity for background noise removal. But yeah, I have used other stuff. I just keep coming back to Cakewalk because it's awesome. Question number 25 is from Paulino. Paulino, let the river take you over, Paulino. Let the rhythm take you. Okay. He says, how long have you been doing this for? A little over 20 years. Yes, it's been that long. I'm that old. Question number 30 from Kibudude says, what software do you use for YouTube streaming? So currently right now I am going through OBS. And I'm streaming, you're getting the audio from my Rodecaster Pro, the Shure SM7B, and then that's going into a Cathedral Pipes Durham, which is a 20 dBs of extra gain, clean boost. So yeah, OBS all the way. I got to kind of hurry up because I actually have to pick my son up here at 5:30 from his first job. He just got a job. So proud of him. Daryl Myers, question number 31. Hey, would you mind helping me out with applying loops on BandLab? I'd be happy to do so. But I would need to know exactly how you would want to go about that. I do have consultations that you can sign up for. I have a 30-minute and a 1-hour consultation. That's on the website. You can just go to the store and you can book that. There's a place there where you can even block out the time that makes the most sense to you. And it won't let you pick a time that doesn't make sense to me. So it works out really good. And it also takes into account time zones and stuff like that. So you pick the time that works for you and then it adjusts on my end. But that might be the best way for us to do that. Question number 32 is from our good friend 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 So good to see you in here, brother. Good to have a champion among us. Love 𝗧𝗵𝗲. He's an awesome guy. Says, hey, Robert, when can we see you reacting to black metal? Oh, no, I say. Instrumental, I would do that. If it's an instrumental death metal song or black metal song, I'd be up for that. But if it's got lyrics and it's going to be like crazy, whew, yeah. Nicholas Fernandez already answered that question. Cool. I'm going to change this to relax. There we go. Let's change it to focus. Okay, so I'm new to the channel. Subscribed. Awesome. Thank you, MJ Moonwalker. Are you planning to do more MJ like Dangerous or The Lost Children? 1 second. I'm getting a phone call from the wife. Welcome to the Home Studio Simplified show. How can I help you?
Are you busy?
I'm live streaming right now. What would you like?
Oh, okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye. And there was none other than the woman herself. Yes. To answer your question, anything MJ, I plan on trying to do it. As long as the multi-tracks keep coming to me, I will keep doing them. So, question number 35 is from a name that I can't read. I think it's says, while recording, when you stop it, it usually goes back to where it started. But in my DAW since yesterday, it's not going back. When I stop it, it stays where it reached. How do I fix that in Cakewalk? So there is an options menu in Cakewalk, and I'll pull that up real quick. While that's being pulled up, I'll go. Oh no, it's going to happen. It's going to pull up pretty quickly, so I won't have to. Let's see here. Now there's an option in here. Playback and recording. You know what? Maybe it's not under this at all. There's like a show start. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So this here is the preferences tab. I'm pretty sure I thought it was in here, but I'm not seeing it. And it may be under keyboard shortcuts. I'm thinking it is. But there's a keyboard shortcut that allows you to stop and play. Let's see. Console, stop, step record. No, that's not it. Yeah, I can't remember what. There's like a certain button that you push though. Let's see. Play or pause. No, that's not it. Yeah, you know, it's in here. It's like one button too. That's what's crazy. And I can't remember what that one button is. Let's see here. Let's open up a... Actually, let's just go to a new... That's not it. The dog may start barking here in a second due to the fact that my wife is coming through the door. I thought there was a way to... Maybe it's in here. Center on now time with keyboard zoom. On stop, rewind to now marker. Here it is. So you can either set it to where it will not rewind to the now marker, or you can set it to where it will. And that's here in the options menu. You'll see it right here. Control W, that's what it was. Well, no wonder I couldn't remember it. That's kind of one of those strange ones. Okay, back onto the questions. This is from Orange, question number 36. I feel sampling other artists without giving them credits is very unfair, or even mentioning the previous artist who performed it. Is it just me? I think you should at least, like give them some credit where credit's due. You shouldn't just, sample someone and then not give them the credit or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's just ethics. Question number 37 is from 𝗧𝗵𝗲 Music. He says, what's your opinion on parallel compression? When you should use it and when you can mix without it? I think parallel compression is great for bringing things front forward. I think it's great for making sure that the dynamics of something is less dynamic and more stringent. But when it comes to like when you should use it, when you shouldn't, I think every case scenario is different. Obviously, every mix is different. But my opinion on parallel compression is it is a great tool for bringing things, especially drums. I don't think I've ever, unless it's been like a folk track or a bluegrass track, because bluegrass really doesn't have drums, not all of them. But if it's like a folk track or a stripped back track, what's going on with my voice? Typically, I don't use parallel compression on them then, but almost always my drums have parallel compression on them. It's just a great way to get that snare to crack. Jim Patrick says, I love the Sonatas plugins. Just wondering, why don't they get updated, as they are great? You know what? That's a great question. I've asked several times that I haven't got an answer for yet. So, question number 39, Roave says, hello, sir. What do you think about synthwave music? You know what? I love it. I love anything that is creative like that. I think it's definitely got its place. It reminds me of my childhood, to be honest. I was born in the 80s, 82 to be exact, and there's a lot of it that just brings back a lot of nostalgia. Question number 40 is from Lido Rodriguez. He says, where do you see the home recording and mixing world 5 years from now? There's so much gear and software tailored for that environment, but is it the hobbyist or for the true artist and producer? You know what? I think it's for both. I really do. 5 years from now, though, I see a lot of things being automated so that individuals who don't have the musical prowess will be able to accomplish their dreams. Honestly, I see it's going in the right direction. I think AI is going to really help out with people that maybe don't know how to mix things properly or how to master things properly. And I don't think that's going to necessarily do away with mixing and mastering engineers. It hasn't done it yet. I don't think it's ever going to, just simply because you cannot ever replace a human touch, because humans have souls, and souls give forth emotions, and emotions give forth something that machines simply cannot. Wow, that's crazy. The next question, 𝗧𝗵𝗲, how long until AI generated tunes top the charts? Actually, they already have. They already have. I can't remember the name of the song right now, but it was an AI generated song, and they used this algorithm that basically told them what a hit song needed to be. They used it, and they went to the top of the charts. I can't remember the name of the song at this point in time, but Google it will help you. Jim Patrick, question number 42. Could you do a video creating a song using loops and samples sometime in the future? Yeah, I could try. I'm not really a big loop sample kind of guy. Like I said, I use a lot of them to accentuate stuff. But with that being said, almost all of my drums are sampled drums. I'm using Addictive Drums too, and that's just a sampled drum kit. literally. A lot of my strings, all of my strings are usually, well, not usually, they are samples. So, I mean, I use samples a lot and loops even, but I don't know if I've ever done like a video where it's just loops and samples. So that might be something worth visiting. It might be kind of fun. I did just do a 10-minute challenge with the VIP member group and those here in the Discord where I did actually do that. So I guess I kind of already beat you to the punchline. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 music question number 43. What's your opinion on mixing in mono? I love it. I think it's a great idea to at least fold it back down to mono every once in a while so that you know if anything is phase shifted or out of phase, I should say. And I think it's just a great way to check to see what's going to sound like in the real world scenario. Also, mixing in mono helps you to adjust your bass and your vocal levels a little bit better, I feel like. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Well, actually don't, because I'm getting ready to leave. After listening to a lot of the original recordings, which vocal was you most surprised by? I have to say, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fanboy, but Michael Jackson's vocals. When I heard the very first raw track reaction I did was Billie Jean. When I heard his vocals in Billie Jean, and I heard Billie Jean, take one, and I went back and did all of the research and found out that he did that in one take, that sold me on Michael right there. I was like, I am blown away. Like, this dude is phenomenal. But there's been many of those where you solo the vocals out and you absolutely get cold chills, not just from him, but others. But I would have to say that's the first one that really surprised me. Question number 45 is by 𝗵𝗲 Do you like me? Grow up. Did you like me? Grow up on MJ Music. Love the videos. I did, but it wasn't like an integral part of my childhood. Integral part of my childhood was like Foreigner, Boston, Rush, a lot of Rush, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Jimi Hendrix. That's actually the stuff that I grew up listening to and still was listening to in middle school and high school. And people were like, dude, you're so weird. And then all of them started listening to it. And I was like, see, guys, I told you. But anyway, I knew of Michael Jackson. I listened to a lot of Michael Jackson growing up. I knew of a lot of his famous songs, but his not so famous songs. That's why these raw track reactions are awesome to me too, because there's a lot of songs of his that I've never even been introduced to. And I'm getting to hear them for the first time, and not the released version, the raw version. It's even cooler. So question number 46 is by PAL. He says, hey, Robert, what's your favorite guitar? This is going to be real easy right out of the gate. Fender Strat. Favorite guitar right out of the gate. Fender Strat all the way. Question number 47, Super Saiyan says, hello, what's your favorite movie of all time? Ooh, that's a hard one. Good night, Irene. I really love Dune, but like the old Frank Herbert's Dune, like the old 1986, 87 version, that's got to be one of the best ones in my opinion. But I have to say probably The Hobbit, the old original cartoon 1984 version. The music was done by a band called Rankin Bass. If you have not checked it out, you've got to check it out. In fact, we might even have in the VIP section one day, we might even just have a watch together and just sit down and watch it so you guys can check it out. The music is phenomenal. It's like bard music. It's amazing. Lucius, whatever that last name is, says, can you do a video on Leave Me Alone by Michael Jackson? That's doable. Question number 49. Diode Skies says, hi there, I have a 9-year-old daughter and I'd like to start teaching her guitar and keyboard. I used to play a long time ago and out of practice. How would you approach this so that we can continue long term? That's a great question. There's a lot of apps that can really help. Musician is one of them, not sponsored by any means. And then there's also some great online teachers. YouTube is great, but really getting her into where she has a physical person to sit with and to reconnect with and to hold her accountable is going to be the best way. So try to find her someone that you can trust, obviously, and try to find her a good music teacher that can help her. Someone that's going to be fun too. You don't want to be like the person that's smacking the back of the hands on the piano and you're not playing it right. That doesn't hurt anybody, but it doesn't help anybody, I should say. There's some questions here that got skipped, and that's completely fine, but we're trying to close this up right now. Just a Man Official says, what do you think of Studio One? I've personally not used it. It looks like a really cool DAW, but I've heard from a lot of people, yet again, I haven't used it, so I can't say, but I've heard from a lot of people that it's kind of clunky. So I don't know if that's true or not, but honestly, everyone who's been on this channel for any number of days, you know, a DAW in my eyes is just simply a tool. It's how you use it. So I might end up being unpopular, but I'm getting FL Studio as you pay for it once and you get updates forever for free. It has everything I need and use, from a sampler to some great stock plugins. Sorry. Sorry for what? Are you going to keep... There goes my voice again. Are you going to keep creating music? That's all that matters, brother. Good night. My voice is gone. Yeah. Don't worry about being unpopular. It's all the unpopular kids who's making the good music. PAL says, I grew up in the 70s. Judas Priest was one of my favorites. Awesome. Saw Judas Priest just before the pandemic. Shut concerts down. Still rocked out. Did it. Use whatever works best for you. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate that. PAL says, mine is a Telecaster. Such a nice sound to it. I love Tellies too. As you can see, I've got one hanging back here. It's a thin line Telly. Classic vibe. Yes. Classic vibe. Thin line Telecaster. Beautiful. Beautiful. What do you think of Harley Benton guitars? I want to get one. I really do. Badly. I've watched a ton of videos on them and I've almost pulled the trigger a couple of different times, but I'm just like, I don't know. I would love to try one out before I could give my official opinion on them, but they look absolutely gorgeous. So, all right. Yes, Robert, starting a new project on January. Awesome. I love the breakdown of the MJ songs. Well, stick around, brother, because I'm going to be doing more of them. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and call this Dunsky today. So I appreciate each and every one of you hopping on. Thank you so much, DJ, for helping me to make sure that I got all of the questions answered as well. Let's give a big round of applause for DJ Big Red 81, who has really just stepped up like about a year ago, just kind of slid into the chat and has just been a tremendous help ever since then. Greatly appreciate him and all of his hard work in making sure that every question gets answered and everyone feels welcomed. He's really good about it. As soon as someone pops their head in the chat, he's like, hey, glad to have you. And sometimes I don't see him come in because I'm answering a question or something like that. So we really appreciate DJ and all of his hard work. So thank you so much. Looking for something here that I have a vintage Harley Benton Telecaster. Sounds great. Ooh, nice. Okay, so before we go, this is how we're going to close it out today. You know what time it is. For those of you who are new, get ready because we're going to bring in 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗀. Casey, you ready? He's ready, guys. Here he comes.
Well, this is 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗀 bringing you the top 20 countdown. We got... Oh, we're not doing a countdown? Robert didn't tell me what we were doing, so I'm just... Oh, it's the wheel. Yeah, this is 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗀 allowing you to spin the wheel of awesomeness. Well, that's right. Even though Robert's an idiot because he doesn't... Oh, here he comes again.
What's going on in here? Every time I leave the microphone for just a second, go get me a little drink of coffee, come back and Casey's doing something. Awesome. We have a song feature, ladies and gentlemen. A song feature. We haven't had one of these in a while. So what we're going to do is we are going to start a giveaway, quote unquote, in the chat. Okay. The stars. I'm glad you noticed that, DJ. The stars is a wild card. So if you want to, for the next 3 minutes, type !HSS, just as DJ Big Red 81 has done in the chat right now. It's capital H, capital S, capital S. That's all together. That's going to get you entered into a drawing to have a song featured here on the channel the next time we go live. Or, like he said, you can just copy what he typed into the chat and press enter. For everyone who enters within the next 2 minutes and 19 seconds now, you're going to have a chance to enter in to that wonderful Sorry, I had two different musics playing on top of each other. There we go. Steve Thompson. Congratulations. Gear Junkie. Andrew S. Kev Gresham. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names today. My voice is going out on top of that. Good luck to all you guys. Just a Man Official. He says I typed it twice. Sorry for that. It's fine. It only gives you one entry per time that you do that anyway. Good Diode Skies. Jonathan Hamlet. Roy. What's up, brother? He has been lurking in the chat. Hasn't said a thing until now. All right, you got 1 minute and 30 seconds till we close this bad boy down and we choose a winner. Enter it in now. Enter it in. All right. So as you can see right here, this is going to be where I choose the winner. And these are all of the individuals who have entered. So right now we have, let's see, 2, 4, 6. We got 8 people entered already. Make that 9 people. All right. If you guys want to get in on having a song featured here on the channel of 75,000 plus subscribers, this is the time to do it. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦, it has to be all in caps, brother, if you want to get featured. Actually, it says it accepted it. Interesting. So maybe it doesn't have to be in all caps. Maybe it's accepting both now. That'd be cool. They said they updated it, so I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got 20 seconds to enter into the drawing. You got 15 seconds. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy up in here. Oh my goodness. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we're picking our winner right now of who is going to be entered in as the winner. And guess what? It is, if I can ever get it up on the screen here, Kev Gresham. Awesome. Congratulations, Kevin. You have won a song feature here on the channel. All you simply have to do is just email me and let me know what song you would like featured. Email me the song. Let me know, how you would like it to be, like an introduction or anything like that. Let me know. Just send me an email at robert@homestudio_simplified@gmail.com with your song. It's super simple. And any of you want to ask questions, you want to know more about the VIP membership, you want to know more about anything we've talked about here today, send an email to homestudio_simplified@gmail.com and I will try to get back to you as early as possible. Oh, is it your birthday today? Sweet. And he won. Nice. Well, you know what? Before we go, I know I said I was getting ready to go, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kev Gresham, in case I missed it. Happy birthday to you. And many more. I'm also available for weddings, for parties, bar mitzvahs. No, but seriously, I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for stopping by on the channel today. You guys are awesome. Oh, someone just lit up the room with the nebula. Thank you so much, Charlie Wood, for your donation. Appreciate that. You're awesome. Thank you so much for helping support the channel and for lighting up the room. So until next time, guys, remember that we can dream alone, we can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. God bless you guys. See ya.